It's time for the final series of the weekend here at HGC Europe. Keldor, don't cry. It's going to be sad that it is the last one, but we'll be back next week, and the one we are going to watch, it's a good one.
Yeah, I know.
Hold it in.
You had a good weekend. It was fine.
Hold those tears in, man. You're going to be okay. You're going to be fine.
Okay.
You got a week full of biking ahead of you.
Yeah, I definitely do.
He does, man. This guy loves his biking. Let's look at the standings right now. Check out where our teams currently sit. We're going to be watching Fnatic once again, and they're already at the top here with a 10-1. They have qualified for the HGC finals already, so they're looking pretty darn good, but they'll be facing off against Team Expert, who is in a bit of a weird tie area right now at number 4.
Exactly. So Expert, of course, as they said in the past, they are currently in a situation where they're saying, nah, it's going to be rough for us to qualify directly for the HGC finals. But we still want to make sure that we have a good position for the playoffs.
They believe Dignitas is good enough to finish out their games. Dignitas is definitely making a case to do so, as they looked pretty darn strong, really disciplined as well in their engagement. So we'll see if Team Expert can come out against Fnatic and put on a good showing. The last time they faced off was the actual winter finals and grand finals at the Western Clash, and Team Fnatic put them down pretty aggressively. Let's go and look at the schedule here for today. Gonna go ahead and check out all of our matches as Team Expert and Fnatic as our next one, but North America later on, they got some good matches too.
Yep, with Gale Force, and everybody kind of deciding right now if Gale Force is in a bit of a slump or not, since they had that weird loss the last time they played with an 0-3. Now, losing is not the worst thing for them, but without taking a map, that was a bit of a surprise to most of their supporters. So against Team Freedom, they definitely have to step it up again, or all of a sudden the North American standings are going to be a lot more exciting than people thought at the beginning of Part 2.
Superstars and Tibbastorm will finish the day there. And looking at the very top, if you did see the match, we had Team Liquid and the Playing Ducks face off. It was a 3-1 victory for Team Liquid. Game number 2, if you are going to watch one match, watch that Braxis Holdout one, because that was a lesson on how to play Zagara and play a poke comp, and also how to utilize silences.
And how to double check for Nidus networks.
That's right, too. Let's go ahead and check out our players as they mentioned what exactly will be happening in today's match.
I think Team Expert is a really good team, and I believe that they will qualify as the 3rd team to BlizzCon. So whenever we face any other top 3 team in the region, it's pretty much all about whoever comes in the most prepared and actually has the momentum that day. You know, if we have a bad day, they can win us 3-0. If we have a good day, we'll probably win them 3-0. So it's like, we just gotta make sure we're well prepped and be careful for Cheese, because they tend to invent stuff that might be spooky.
With Fnatic, obviously they've just won 2 back-to-back international titles, and they look really strong still. You saw a couple of chinks in their armor when they played against Dignitas, which we hope to expose, but I think the big part of why they are such a strong team is their team synergy. They all seem to know what the other one's going to be doing, at every possible moment. So I think we can win. However, a lot of things need to go right for us to win this game. We need to get really solid drafts, and we need to play to our peak performance if we want to win the game.
A Thorough versus Wubby. Oh, my boots are already shaking thinking about it, man. That's going to be a fun one. Those lanes, always great to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun series for sure. And the solo lanes, of course, might be influenced by Abathur picks or by quick rotations, but the solo laners here are definitely going to have a pretty big impact. It's going to be an interesting series. Fnatic is qualified for the HGC finals already. For Expert, there's still a lot on the line here, but Fnatic, of course, they still want their wins.
Expert getting a loss, though, would put them near that Zealots as well, which would make playoffs even more exciting for the next couple of weeks. Let's go ahead and look at the cheers as we get ready for this match and figure out where exactly the cheer bars continue to go up. Team Expert has been getting a lot of cheers as of late, jumping all the way top here. Celadar here with 26,000.
And well-deserved at that.
Yes.
They have been improving over the entire year to a point where they now solidified themselves within the top 3. On the other hand, Fnatic, of course, leading the charge here with a Gladman just absolutely rocking it. The guy is a beast, Fields Gladman, and Sigmo also represented with another 60,000 on the board.
Gladman, man, just killing it so far. I actually had someone in my Discord earlier do the math. He has donated 4% of the cheers to the HGC right now. 4% of the entire thing.
At this point, he should just sponsor a team.
Yeah, just pick up a team, man.
It's
Just pick one up and go with it.
It's probably easier.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go ahead and go into the Battleground here for this best of 5 series. The Battleground will be Tomb of the Spider Queen, as Expert will go with the pick.
Also, Braxis is still open. We have bans on Sky Temple. I wonder who banned that. And on Towers of Doom. So yeah, no Sky Temple. at this point, just experts saying, you know what, we are so tired of seeing Fnatic win on Sky Temple, it's not gonna happen.
Every time they get the map choice, it goes straight there. So we do, that doesn't mean actually that Dragonshire is up, which is something that we normally don't see from Fnatic. They went through a phase where they just could not win on Dragonshire ever, so they kept betting it out, but here it's up and available during the series, so maybe we'll see it. Also, Braxis Holdout is up too, so let's see if that will come up later on. For now, it's about 2-minute Spider Queen, and we talked about it in the last series. We've been talking about it every series, it feels like, on 2-minute Spider Queen. Those first 2 turn-ins are so important, and we need to find a way for teams to stop that from occurring, stopping that snowball from coming your way.
Control is just one of the most important things here, and that starts with wave clear or with aggressive kill compositions where you try to dominate the middle of the map where the 2 turn-in points are located. So vision and control, this is really what you try to establish here early on. And for Fnatic, we've seen them with fantastic play over the last few weeks. They had one series that was a bit closer, that was the one against Dignitas. But their performance ever since mid-season Brawl is just absolutely stellar. So right now, they're starting off with a ban against Medivh. They themselves have shown some Medivh play with Shrimpy. But overall, it's of course more so Team Expert that is known for their Medivh play, especially since ADRD is a fantastic Medivh player, and they love to play Medivh on this map too if they get the opportunity. So a very expected ban from Fnatic.
Yep, the Medivh is gone here. Before we talk about the bans here for Team Expert, I'm hoping to maybe see a little bit more Garrosh from Bad Benny, getting the first victory in the HGC Europe with it on this battleground. The control, the way he positioned himself to make sure that he forced fights really allowed for Team Expert to follow it up. They also had a Stukov there too to bring out the silences. So we'll see if maybe that will come out once again. Genji banned out from Team Expert, as Fnatic having 2 players with it, not allowed to play.
Yeah, now of course, if you're Fnatic, you have to still think about a few early picks. ETC, Rega, highly popular, Tassadar is another one. Those 3 are definitely heroes that Fnatic is thinking about right now. They might start with something else, but those are the 3 that usually come to mind immediately, depending on what you want to do. Do you want to set up a double support composition? Tassadar can be your boy. If you are rather trying to create opportunities through the front line, then ETC has a huge influence, even though he gains, I would say, more value on other lanes because of that flexibility that we alluded to in other drafts before. And then, of course, you also have to think about, there's Tassadar, so double support composition. But you also have to think about Rega, since he has just that added value onto the Spider Queen with the extra wave clear that allows you to maybe lack wave clear on other positions then.
Giving up the ETC. Fnatic is not having Breeze on it, which means that Bad Benny may be the one to pick it up here. Team Expert is one of those teams that will play Dahaka on this battleground. We've seen it a few times the last few weeks they've played here, so they could move straight into that ETC and Dahaka. There's also choices where they usually grab Greymane on the early side on this battleground. They love Greymane in their first couple of rotations, so I am very curious to see what Team Expert will do with Tassadar being grabbed on the other side.
The thing is that ETC and Dahaka is still good here, but it is not as strong as it is on other maps. So ETC and Dahaka, if you take them as a combo, is normally used so that you take ETC, ETC's rise has been started to a huge extent because teams figured out that they can use him as a counterplay to Dahaka. So they started out with playing ETC against Dahaka, then ETC came into a first pick role because everyone figured out, you know what, if we pick him early, and they pick Dahaka, we have him in that setup. That's great for us because we can mirror Dahaka's movement. But if they don't pick Dahaka, or if Dahaka is banned out, we can still pick ETC as a main tank and can add anyone else. The reason why ETC plus Dahaka became so popular is because, first of all, you deny ETC to your opponent, you play him as a main tank, and you still have the global available on your side. And Tomb of the Spider Queen, as it is a smaller map that loses some value. You can still play it, but it doesn't have the same effect anymore.
I do like this, though, the Uther into the Greymane right away, because Fnatic, with them grabbing a Tassadar, typically you do follow up into your Hyper Carry and then probably the other support, which means they wouldn't grab the ETC, which means if they don't get it and Fnatic doesn't ban it out, they can grab it later on. Team Expert can have that frontline warrior. So this is actually more of a double dog dare here from Team Expert to say, okay, what are you going to pick up? Are you going to give up the ETC? Are you going to move into your double support? Or are you going to allow us to really deal with the bans?
I mean, at this point, you are forced to think about, do we want Rega? Or are we okay with him moving away? But they picked Johanna, they have Rega now taken, so a ban on ETC is a possibility for them. You can also ban out a Nubarak if you're more worried about aggressive compositions now coming your way. ETC, of course, would really shine with the Divine Shield that can be thrown out by Uther. But let's not... Yeah, Genji is already banned out, so they don't have to worry about that. So an ETC ban would be a good option for them, especially now that they have Johanna already taken away here.
Is there anything else that they would be fearful of? Malfield maybe because of the Johanna? Maybe you want to take that
You
away?
can target the solo lane as well. They can
Oh.
play against ETC. I mean, at this point, they have an interrupt with Johanna already, so that can definitely work. They have the double support there. If they feel that they can create the space, they are not forced to. Again, ETC is great, but he loses some of the value that he offers on other lanes and why he's picked early in drafts, the flexibility. So some of that is lost. You can still play him, but Fnatic can simply accept that ETC might be an issue and say, okay, we're going to target the solo lane instead.
They instead decided to ban out the Diablo, preventing any engage from occurring, forcing any fights from popping out. Third and fourth pick here for Team Expert.
Now, Diablo, of course, is strong on the map, especially because of Devil's Due, since you are very likely to pick up regeneration globes before fights. So it's his most powerful map next to Infernal Shrines. And that's why Fnatic is just saying, if he is constantly getting those regeneration globes, and if he's supported by also then Uther doesn't lose his soul stacks, then it might be too much in the late game in particular. So they're just prioritizing Diablo over a potential ETC ban.
Any world where we see Stitches maybe instead? Try to go for picks?
Oh yeah, Stitches can
Stitches
definitely be
Uther.
played. The problem with Stitches right now is, yes, you have the follow-up with the stuns on Uther, but it depends on who are you getting. Since Tacita can dodge, we've seen great cleanse play from Smexy. We have Breeze, who can also put himself in the middle between Stitches and the rest of the team. And we have seen some great zoning from other teams against the Stitches with Johanna, who can dodge a hook with Iron Skin and also, of course, survive quite easily if hooked. But with now Kel'Thas taken, we have a lot of follow-up for potential hooks, so that's definitely an option that they have, like, no doubt about it.
JT Dehaka should be having our tank later on here for Team Expert, as they will need a main solo warrior. They're waiting for Fnatic to choose on their side their fourth and fifth pick. If they find a spot where they think there's a target they can focus down, they may move into potentially an Anubarak. Could use that instead for Cocoon and make sure to stop that Ancestor healing up. They just like to have the flexibility here to pick whatever tank they want.
After seeing the Zealots, I want to see Soul Jin now.
From Fnatic?
It's not happening, I know, but still, a man can dream. Yeah, I love that Zealots actually got the troll out there, but I would say Vala is a very good option with the double support that we have for Fnatic now, so she's a hero they could play here. We are still looking for a potential pick on the side, like a solo laner first of all, of course, unless Wubi is going to jump on one of the two supports. I mean, Fnatic can simply round this one out with either a melee solo laner, or they can put two damage dealers in and run Johanna as the solo support. That would work out as well.
Well, it's time to find out. Fnatic, what are you going to pick up? It's going to be Li Ming and Tracer. So Tracer coming out. Li Ming from the poke on the side. A bit different here, but we get Schwimpy back on the Tracer.
Yeah. Which means that Li Ming is played by who?
Quack.
Probably. Playing a little bit more mages lately. Has actually played some Gul'dan as well, so we've seen that. And what's the last pick on the side of Team Expert? They need a tank. What's it going to be? A little more control? Are we going to see something along the lines of an Anubarak? Are they going to try that? Against Li Ming, Cocoon is on a give. Against Li Ming and Tacita, Cocoon is not going to give you too much. One of the two should be ready to burn it down. So we could see that Stitches coming into play. We still have Muradin that has been played before, but then again, Muradin in the setup. Are you usually going to use him? Stitches would make sense with a follow-up here.
Is Varian weird? Wait, you have a lot of wave clear. You could fit him in.
You could actually work with him, yes. Question is, when you have Curse Bullet as the follow-up, not to have a bit on, you have stuns available, you could play Varian if you wanted to, yeah.
Let's see what tank will be coming in here. Lots of options here. Team Expert needs to decide what they would like. They choose Garrosh again.
Like, go for Garrosh once more so you get your wish granted.
Yes! Get the Orc Life here. See if they can get the engages they want. So, Tracer versus Garrosh. This should be an interesting one.
What is Garrosh going to throw here?
Rhaegar. Johanna, if she uses Iron Skin in time. Granted, you're able to get out because you can use Iron Skin afterwards, but...
Fantastic. You throw Johanna into your team and she's like, alright boys, let's go. Condemn and then you're screwed. So that's not going to do too much. You're going to throw Tracer in there. I would love to see that happen.
And Tracer just lambs E and she's good to go.
Like, oh my god, I have this button here and it brings me back to where I was before you threw me. So Tacita, he doesn't care.
He did run body checks, so you don't actually have to go for full throws. Just trying to get into the fight and force engages is always good. And then when they try to escape, then you throw them behind you.
The body check build is pretty solid.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm interested to see how that's going to work out for them. Garrosh was not really on my list after I saw the mobility on the side of the opponent. Also, with Li Ming, you could use a wave of force. You could just simply, like, Calamity Wave. Like, I don't know.
Bad Benny single-handedly trying to increase the win rate of Garrosh here in Europe. Can he go 2 for 2 on Tomb of the Spider Queen? That is the question that I am asking here, especially against Fnatic. A lot of poke available for them, Pulse Bombs coming out. It's time to find out who will get the victory as Team Expert will face off against Fnatic. Game number 1 in its best-of-5 series.
Game number 1, it is Tomb of the Spider Queen, and to the left we have Team Expert. At this point with Bad Benny on Garrosh, Nick on Greymane. We see Athera on the Haka, ADRD on Kalthas, and last but not least, Curson on Uther.
On the right side in the red, Fnatic. Breeze playing Johanna, Quacknick's playing Li Ming, Schwimpy on Tracer, Smexy on Rhaegar, and Wubby will be playing Tassadar.
Wubby on Tassadar, so we are seeing Quacknicks on a bit more mages lately, trying to expand that pool slightly. So far, no talent chosen for Johanna, so Regeneration Master, of course, is quite good here, but he goes into block instead. So Regeneration Master, the one reason why the talent can really excel on this map is that you get easy stacks. Already a throw on Breeze, but at the same time, not really of any consequence. As we said before, Johanna is pretty safe there.
It's been a while since we've seen Schwimpy on that Tracer. Always a treat when we do get it.
Yep. Garrosh is the only hero where you really want, where throws are actually a positive thing to have.
What is your
In Germany, we call that a Schenkelklopfer.
And that means in what in English?
This is like a really bad pun.
Well,
I'm going to teach you German one day.
I mean, I've already learned one.
What?
Nachschocken.
Yeah, we're going to work on that.
Nachschocken 83. It literally sounds like you're coughing when you're trying to talk, when you speak German. Like, coming from an English accent?
No. That's Swiss.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like, they do that like this thing all the time.
Do they?
Yeah.
Language is a beautiful thing. Not one that I can learn on, but another beautiful kill on the top. As Expert finds Rhaegar just sitting there in the bush.
He was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, from 4 directions, like everybody jumps on the dog and just kicks him. That just felt bad watching. I mean, poor Smexy.
Reminds me of Julius Caesar, just being stabbed from all different directions and just dead. That's how it ends, man. Or
I'm
Rhaegar.
not sure that was really comparable, but yes.
It's comparable enough.
It would be comparable if your own teammates would all of a sudden jump on you and kill
true,
you.
actually.
Then you would have an argument here, but yeah.
That's where Garrosh comes in, sabotaging his own team here.
Oh, yeah.
Do have an engage happening on the bottom side, but nothing really occurs. But in the middle, turn-ins being dropped in already. 11 gems have been dropped off for Team Expert, as Fnatic sits around with 6.
Yeah, so Fnatic at this point, yeah, Quacknix has to be a bit cautious. It's so interesting to... nice, Quacknix. Spread that bomb, exactly. Give Breeze a taste as well. What a good guy. Sharing is caring.
The fire spreads constantly here. Team Expert keeping up with it.
I can just imagine Breeze getting annoyed with Quack because he's spreading bombs. But yeah, I mean, Fnatic at this point, they have a level 4. Team Expert on the other hand as well. And now we are going once again into that build that we talked about the last time when Garrosh was being played here. So on level 1 for Bad Benny, it's immediately body check. That's something that he's going to pick up later on level 7 once again as well. And we have them with Indomitable, trying to make sure that you have that self-cleanse, that you being unstoppable.
Actually very helpful for 2 reasons. 1, Condemn, if you are wanting to dive into the back line and try and catch that Li Ming. And 2, the totem coming out from Rhaegar. Whenever they pop it out, usually that's a way for them to get away from a fight. You can pop that, move in, find your Q, and throw them away.
I mean, in an ideal world, you would also be able to activate it before the Blessed Shield hits you, so that you can dodge another stun here. So it definitely helps Garrosh quite a lot in a lot of scenarios here. So for now, we're still seeing Tracer. I mean, Tracer usually starts to pick up a little bit more after, of course, after level 10. But overall, it's really the level 4 for Tassadar that already helps out quite a bit, so that you are a bit more aggressive on the map. You're a bit safer. You get those hit points back all the time. But yeah, Bad Benny trying to throw Tracer, but oh my god, Tassadar is down, and that Ragdoll just gets completely thrown across the screen here. We have Team Expert with 2 kills against 0 against Fnatic. Well done so far.
Yeah, a crazy flank there. Very unexpected there from KT coming on the right, catching Tassadar. Pick gets picked up. 2-0 right now. Turn-in, Zoe are in the lead of Fnatic as they have 31 dropped off. Just kidding. Team Expert drops off a few themselves and move up to 41 gems.
Now at the same time, we're having now dominance taken on the side of Li Ming, which is actually kind of funny because we had earlier when Nurok was playing the hero a bit of an adjustment that he made, and the major players in Europe usually just banter around quite a lot. I guess that's actually a thing across the world. And Mene immediately, when he saw that Charged Blast was taken on level 4 by Nurok, came in on Twitter and it said, Nurok, I thought you moved to Russia and not to North America. What Li Ming build are you using there? So I think Mene is going to be a lot more happy with what Quacknix has chosen here right now, heading into the standard talent, trying to get a bit of health back after kills.
Well, Nurok probably happy that he got the win anyways with this sick build, bringing in those auto attacks.
He immediately just wrote back and said, you have no idea how to play Li Ming. She's an auto attacker. She's actually an auto attacker.
Cannoneer for the win. Team Expert looking for their own win as they push in the middle, top, and middle as they are able to go for the turn-in. They're working on the turrets already. They have a member in the bottom as well, but Tracer is chasing down Nick. Won't be able to get the kill, but does deter him away from the Web Weaver.
Yeah, they create some space there so that they can focus on the Web Weaver defense. But overall, Team Expert is still the team that is currently pushing heavily. So they get some experience out of that attempt, and they actually have a half-level lead. And increasing that furthermore even, and Breeze thrown again, trying to blow him away, and actually that might still succeed, barely moving out, getting sucked in again, and Breeze exploding. 3 kills against 0, no counter kill as Smexy attempts to bite back, but that is a red wave at least ascending for Fnatic, but still the loss of Janab at the top lane, and overall Fnatic not getting a kill yet is starting to become a bit of an issue here for them.
Yeah, clever patience there by Bad Benny, waiting for the Condemn to pop out, the Iron Skin to get burned down, goes for the throw and gets the great pull in. Gotta have the Web Weavers pushing in, as you mentioned, so Fnatic should be fine with Johanna spawning just in time, but the experience lead does become a bit worrisome. Team Expert a full level ahead. If they clear out these Web Weavers well and don't lose too much turrets, they'll hit 10 easily.
And as we heard from other teams, Expert is a team that is just completely cranking out these practice games. They are putting in so much time right now, trying to improve, and it definitely shows, and it's currently putting them in the spot where they are taking the lead over Fnatic. They are nearly hitting level 10 here. It's not going to take too long. Fnatic is attempting to at least get as much value out of these Web Weavers as they can before Team Expert has access to their heroic ability, but it's starting to become a bit dangerous for them to be out there at the top lane.
Breeze going behind enemy lines to grab a couple of gems. We'll get hit with the Gravity Lapse and a drag by a thorough 10 is right around the corner. Breeze okay. Just fine here, able to escape, even dropping the cleanse from Rhaegar to make sure he lives.
Yep, well done by Smexy. He saw it coming and used that. Nick, on the other hand, might actually, barely survives here against Trimpy. On the other hand, Trimpy with his Tracer also just able to get out of here. Especially since Expert already had set up another attack. They were rotating down to try and catch them on the way back. They have their level 10 now. But we are also seeing Fnatic closing in slowly and steadily onto the heroic ability. Only a few minions and then they're going to hit the next talent level.
Yeah, I'm going to see if Team Expert's going to try and get the turn in here. It's a bit difficult against Tassadar as he's able to delay pretty well with that Side Storm. A few gems being dropped off, but not enough for a turn in quite yet as the Thorough's in the top and he's having a hard time dropping off due to Smexy.
Hey, you already do it. Come on, please. Don't take Phoenix. Come on, don't think about it. Go Pyro. I want to see the Pyro. He's baiting here. But Pyro against Rhaegar Ancestral and the Divine Shield, sorry, not the Divine Shield, but the Tassadar Shield. Not so sure about that. I still want it though. To be honest, I think a Pyro against this setup would probably be, I mean, you can dodge it with nearly every single hero, but okay, in my opinion, it would be one of the worst choices that he could possibly make.
Not if Li Ming goes Glass Cannon.
He does it. He goes Pyro. I really want to see how that works out because you can dodge it with basically... I mean, you have... Okay, let's think about it just for a second. He just went Pyro against a setup where you have Ancestral from Rhaegar, you have the Earthen Shield coming in later, you have the shield from Tassadar, Johanna has her own shield with the Iron Skin, and you have 2 heroes that with a good Calamity and also with Tracer can basically dodge it. So explain that to me, please.
Well, the recall is a bit difficult to pull off. You have to be pretty close to it, so maybe they think that there is some error from Schwimpy. Dimensional Shift, if it does get utilized, Tassadar becomes much more vulnerable, so maybe they're thinking, hey, if we can get them to use the Dimensional Shift with an engage by Garrosh, we can make it work. We'll see if it pulls off.
I think it's a really weird choice. That was a great combo, though. Oh my god, Smexy!
Salami! Oh.
And the Salami doesn't get anything.
Tracer goes in, trying to get a kill on Nick. He'll be able to escape just barely, and Smexy heals on up.
I would not hate this choice in a different setup.
Double support if there's only one single support, maybe?
I mean, it's not only even about the double support, it's just like the 2 supports that have been chosen here and the rest of the lineup. As I said, I mean, you have so many tools on the side of Fnatic where you can work against it. Johanna alone, you know, how are you going to get a kill there when she can just simply use her Iron Skin as well? So you have to target other heroes, and Tassadar by himself with a shield can really ruin the day. That might have even gotten a kill if not for the Tassadar shield. So against him in particular, I think it's a weird choice.
We'll watch as we see if the Pyroblast can work out. Bad Benny able to walk away as he's able to drop his own Unstoppable. 13 is around the corner for Team Expert, and they do have a turn-in available if they can make their way on in, but Fnatic is doing a really good job of controlling space, especially with them coming in with their pokes, and they're going in for their own second turn-in.
They're trying to at least, but Team Expert is still lurking around here, and Breeze's attempt to set something up with the with his blessed shield didn't really work out. Nice combo from Quacknix, but Bad Benny didn't move into it. It still hit 80 RD though, and that definitely hurt. Warlord's challenge used, but not hitting anything as they were just moving out. But Expert will still hit level 13 a bit faster than their opponent, and let's not forget, Fnatic still hasn't gotten a kill.
Still have not got a kill. Pyroblast up in 5 seconds. I'm keeping an eye on that cooldown because I want to see it kill somebody in this game. Turn-in is available. A Thorough coming in for the drag. Will hit it on Wubby. The cleanse comes out and he escapes.
Yeah, so once again, bit of damage spread here. Wubby, one that eats some damage through the living bombs. The level 13 talent is in play. And we have also at the same time Uther, by the way, completely focusing here with his talents, with the Holy Shock now on level 4 and level 13 going straight into the Blessed Champion. So it's really all about the Holy Light for him at this point, with the one exception on level 7 with a Hand of Protection here for him. So getting his cleanse in. Now we have the level 13 with a double up for Garrosh, so the armor is increased sporadically. And in the meantime, the turn-in has happened for Team Expert. They hit the 13 faster, and so they could push Fnatic off and go straight in.
Fnatic over kill though. They jump on Garrosh. Divine Shield will have to be used. The follow-up into the Blessed Shield is enough. Bad Benny able to start escaping, but can he live? Barely does with 49 armor up. Pyroblast is queued up, but Wubby with the mental shift cancels it out.
Yeah, so once again, a mini cooldown is being set here. But the fight, the longer the fight lasts, the better for Team Expert, because the Web Weavers are pushing through the lanes, and Fnatic has wasted precious time, where in the meantime their mid-fort has nearly fallen. At the bottom, the Web Weaver is definitely going to get value, and Team Expert is starting to get farther and farther ahead in experience here. Fnatic just struggles really hard to get kills here. They're always close, especially Shrimpy is doing a lot of work, but they really struggle to confirm it.
Bad Benny's low on health, still able to escape. The armor is helping out so much against this Tracer here. And they get home. Force wall out. Bad Benny, is this your life? No, he turns around and cleaves, gets healed up, and is just fine.
He just doesn't die, and Breeze had to move away. He was a bit afraid that he might be thrown over the wall.
Like that.
Yep, like that, for example. So Johanna is down, and that is 4 kills against 0 in favor of Team Expert. They're running the show here.
That they are. Open the fort on the bottom side, opening up the battleground. Can start to move it to the top as well. Team Expert has another turn-in available, and they just move it in right away, dropping off and looking for more forts in level 16.
Yep, so, I mean, at this point, half level would put them to 16. They have 50 gems turn in. They get another turn-in right now, easily. Blue Web Weavers once again descending. So that is easy. Like, it's really easy for them to just snowball this now. Fnatic has to be super careful at this point. They lost 4 heroes throughout the game. They haven't confirmed a single kill just yet, and Team Expert is doing solid work here.
They are. They're pushing in the middle with the Merc camps. The clear is okay. From Fnatic, using Condemn, also dropping down the shields. Being able to do a solid job of pushing in the front line, but Nick is just charging down this fort. It will get cleaned up pretty easily, while KT also heads the top lane up to grab that fort as well. Now, Team Expert groups up as 5. Dahaka's flanking on the right.
They're on 16 now, and Fnatic is way behind in experience, just about to hit level 15. So they are a talent down, and yes, Expert is dominating the battleground now, moving far out, pushing forward, and therefore saving their Web Weavers for an attempt to break through those walls. And in the mid lane, that is currently succeeding. They're taking down the 2 towers, or they're about to. The Blessed Shield comes in, kill attempt, but the Divine Shield is thwarting those efforts immediately. So once again, Curson is ready to save his teammates.
Shrimpy comes in, is body blocking for a little bit before the stun does pop up. Curson does get harassed pretty hard, but is able to back away. And Fnatic will defend. The Web Weavers out losing a keep, got some damage on their turrets, but they're doing alright. Half a level away from 16, and they have their own turn in. They only need 6 more gems to do so.
I have to say, by the way, that we are really blessed in Europe with how many good Tracer players we have. Seeing someone, I mean, there's so many good ones that we see there. If you have, I mean, Snitch, you have Poik, you have Shrimpy, you know, it's just always so much fun seeing a good Tracer player do his thing.
Some would say blessed, some would say cursed, depending on who was facing off against Tracer.
I mean, yeah, if
But
you're on the other side, then of course it's starting to become a bit of a problem, but it's always fun as an observer to watch how much of an impact they are having here.
That's right. As a spectator, it is great to watch these Tracers. Watching Shrimpy block an Uther and get more damage in, that's something you just don't see every single day. And it's great to watch Tracer get in harm's way just to make sure she can set her team up for potential kills. But those kills have yet to come in for Fnatic. Remember, it's 4 kills to 0. Team Expert with the lead.
Yeah, with the lead, and the turn-in attempt by Smexy gets interrupted once more. They hold on to nearly 90 gems. They need 6 more for another turn-in, and they actually thwarted the attempt of Team Expert to get a boss, but they have to send someone down to the bot lane since there is still a Siege Giant camp wreaking havoc, and Rhaegar is going to take care of it. That allows a little bit more presence in the middle top for Expert, and they don't really have the gem count yet for another turn-in, but they can at least get rid of the 36 that they hold on to at this point.
Certainly an issue. Finally, they clean that up. Rhaegar still on the bottom side. A thorough comes down to see if there's a turn-in happening for Fnatic. They are so close to getting that turn-in. They would love to get it, but Team Expert holding their own. Force Wall pops out. Bad Vinny dodges out on the Pulse Bomb and is able to back up. Divine Shield have to be used. I can see why I used it there, but unfortunately the cooldown had to be popped out.
Yeah, so Divine Shield is used after the Blessed Shield is being used from Johanna. The thing is, Divine Shield wasn't really necessary, but he probably was afraid of the follow-up, and let's face it, that cooldown trade is still alright. There's the turn-in though for Fnatic, and Fnatic really has to start doing something here. They are always close to a kill. They're always gaining... It always looks like they get a kill or they are going to be able to make a play here, but then it's always either shut down by Divine Shield on the side of Uther, or somehow Garrosh is able to turn it around. So with this being said, Fnatic now with the Web Weaver wave has a chance to close the experience gap and finally take some structures down, since they haven't killed a single keep yet. Sorry, a single fort.
I am worried that they won't be able to do too much unless they can get a kill, though. Team Expert has incredible wave clear between Kel'Thas and Greymane, and then you look at Dahaka as well, who can work on his own Web Weaver. They might be able to get the fort in the bottom side, and they are setting up for that, but Greymane easily cleans up top. KT's here in the middle, already working on that Web Weaver.
I mean, as long as they decide, as they take some of the fountains down and they are able to get maybe a fort here, clear the wall, they will close the experience gap. That is already going to give them something. They have also still a lot of gems that they are holding on. Aethero was under a lot of pressure down here since he was facing off against Tracer. The mid fort has now been eliminated, and Tracer with the Web Weavers has eliminated the one at the bottom as well. So 2 have fallen. That's definitely a big start for them. But if you look at that gem count, this was just their second turn-in, and we have now still another 112 gems for them. So that's an easy third turn-in, and that's exactly the amount that Team Expert had so far in the game.
We'll see if they're going to start their turn-in. Rhaegar drops off his gems on the bottom side. They're just peeling off one member at a time as they control Team Expert here in the middle side, trying to keep Garrosh at this point where he can't move in. Continues to get choked down by Quackness, sieging away. Pulse Bomb does come out, but there will be a Divine Shield to keep Garrosh alive.
Yeah, every single time a person has to use that to keep his tanks alive. But there's Garrosh dead, and again the Pyroblast with a 0 value. The combo comes from Shrimpy as they're trying to chase them down, and with Uther eliminated, he is just completely on a roll right now. Shrimpy chasing in, trying to confirm another kill as Li Ming fires away from the back. They don't get the 3rd kill confirmed, but they have Uther and Garrosh dropped. The Web Weavers are moving down now so they can make their play for a keep, and they have completely negated the experience advantage that we saw from Team Expert.
Fnatic breaks Team Expert's comp, gets a couple of kills, and now they'll intend to break down the map. The top lane being pushed in by Quacknix, the rest of the members in the middle lane working on the turrets, jumping towards level 20, and they may actually get level 20 before their opponents due to this push here. Fnatic turning out the last second. Ooh, Nick getting low too. Barely getting picked off, able to head home and heal up.
Shrimpy is probably really annoyed. It's like the 10th time that someone just barely survives, but he's trying to go for 80 RD, and that's a kill that he confirms. Kel'Thas is down, and they are moving through the middle at this point. I don't think it's game yet with Uther being back any second. Kel'Thas is the only one that is down, but they definitely have taken the level 20 talents now, and to be quite frank, I mean, they should have enough gems for another turn-in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they do. they were able to get a few more gems, so they're going for it. They
Ooh,
find a
hero.
throw. He does burrow. He has the tunnel, but with the forceful locking him in, he will be killed up. Wubby and body blocks secured a thorough.
And yeah, both teams are on level 20 now, but this game has completely been turned on its head after Fnatic finally got a few kills. We have 4 kills against 4 now. Again, 2 heroes are dead for Team Expert. Easy turn-in for Fnatic. Couldn't even make a boss play here if they wanted to.
They're turning in. Will they make the boss play? I'm watching Tracer.
Nah.
She's heading up there.
I would have said the boss play and then a turn-in might even be better, but they immediately move towards the turn-in. The lanes are all pushed in. The thing is, if you go for boss right now, you give the opponent an opportunity to push out the lane. So they get a bit more out of the web weavers, I feel, with this particular move now. Especially since the Haka is still down, so Expert can't even move out to push the lanes out. They have to stay back, since they are only in a 4 versus 5 situation. So Fnatic is trying to capitalize on how much map pressure they already got. Those web weavers are basically going to start at the keeps of their opponent.
I like how they're playing this too. They're putting 4 in the middle, which does make Team Expert come over and defend. With Giants pushing in additionally to the web weavers, they'll be able to get into a spot where they make this giant concave over their opponents. Force Wall comes out on Bad Bunny to keep him in this area. The throw on the Tracer into a Cursed Bullet. Wow, that was quick, but the recall saves her.
Yeah, the recall, I mean, you just hit the E here and you are able to get back. So right now we're having a massive push through the bot lane. The Haka needs to defend top, but this is for sure going to be a second keep. And the Webweaver in the mid lane has also pushed the lane in a little bit further, has been defended against. Nearly the kill against ADRD, but Kel'Thas is still alive. This keep is going to fall. The Haka not with the team just yet. Divine Shield once more on Bad Benny. Garrosh is safe, but everyone else is on the retreat.
ADRD low on health, helping with the defense. May want to consider backing up, but an engage from a throw as he comes in from behind, going for the fight. Bad Benny looking for another throw, can't find one. Redemption does pop up for Uther, so he'll be back soon. He's healing his teammates.
Yeah, Uther is down. Redemption is going to bring him back, but Bad Benny might still fall here. Heal or no heal, he's in trouble. And this is the end of him. 6 kills against 4. Fnatic is moving towards the core. They have a 5 versus 4 situation going for them right now. And this is just starting to look extremely grim for Team Expert.
That it is. The core taking some hits here. The shield's falling slightly. Breeze and crew clearing out the waves. ADRD will be the target, but the pulse bomb does not connect. So Schwimpy doesn't get the full fight he wants. But wow, that's a blessed shield into a Calamity. Nick is low. He gets out, but Uther, not so lucky.
Uther died again, and ADRD is blocked once more. Tassadar wants him. Whoopi goes in and gets the kill. The core attack. Fnatic, after struggling in the early game, is turning the game around, and they take Team Expert down on Tomb of the Spider Queen, taking the lead in the best of 5 series at HGC Europe.
Fnatic falling behind their opponents, but in the middle of the game, they find a couple of picks, get some great turn-ins, and make the comeback necessary to take the first win on Tomb of the Spider Queen, making that Li Ming and Tracer composition work out against the Garrosh.
Yeah, and I have to say that I still don't understand ARD's choice of Pyroblast here. I'm not saying, by the way, that they would have won this game if they pick Phoenix. I don't say that at all. Fnatic had really good kills that were important, and from the momentum with the kills, they could finally get rid of their gems that they were harvesting the entire time. So it's not like a different heroic ability would have changed the outcome of the game, but I don't think that Pyroblast got any value whatsoever. I've seen 2, and both of the Pyroblasts got nothing, like absolutely nothing. One just simply forced him to use a 20-second cooldown on his Iron Skin, and the other one, that was a Tassadar shield, and that was it. So with how you try to interrupt here and how it helps you to defend against Web Weavers, I think Phoenix might be better. I like the Pyroblast idea, by the way. I really love the thought process. I just think that's the wrong combo to play it against.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch there. The idea of getting Garrosh to throw somebody into them, force them to use their abilities such as Recall, Dimensional Shift, and you follow up with the Pyroblast after the Cursed Bullet connects. Just not fully paying off there. Too many save buttons for Fnatic, and they'll be able to grab the win. But still fun to watch Pyroblast.
Yeah, definitely. Again, against a different combo, I could completely see it. Like, I'm not saying that there is no place for it, but just in this setup, I don't really quite understand the thought process. At the same time, I loved Expert's early game. Like, they did so much work here, and at some point, you really get it, and it's like, wait a second, Fnatic doesn't get any kills, they are falling farther and farther behind, the forts are gone, they themselves don't get any structures down, so Team Expert, definitely stepping it up, and they still go up against Fnatic, but this is some strong showing from them so far.
Team Expert has been stepping it up, especially in this entire phase 2. One of the reasons is because of a Thorough. Let's go ahead and look at a player comparison. A Thorough and a Wubby coming in for both of our players here. A Thorough, Angel, and Wubby are actually very similar when it comes to stats.
Yeah, they definitely are. The stats here, even kill participation is even higher for a Thero. When it comes to deaths, on the other hand, I know it's always a little bit misleading, but that 0.3 difference is actually pretty big. That's Wubby just playing a lot safer than his opponent. It's also reflected in the KDA ratio. But Athero is with those stats, even though he is not quite on Wubby's level with it, is still underlining that he is one of the better or one of the best solo laners that we have.
That hero damage being a little bit higher too, kind of alluding to him playing that Sonya in this first portion of Phase 2. Played Sonya, it seemed like almost every other game, so slight damage coming in. But Wubby, man, if you were to actually look at Dahaka versus Dahaka comparisons, pretty sure Wubby would come out on top, as he is by far one of the best Dahakas here in HGC Europe. But always good to look at our players that sit in the soft lane. They do all the things that you don't normally get to see as much, soaking the experience, floating around, wave manipulation, trying their best to break down a turret when they can, or even a fort if left uncontested, which forces their opponents to come up and deal with them. Mini-web
awareness is one of the most important tools if you are on the solo lane. You need to know what's happening on the map. You need to see that big picture and realize, okay, how far can I push this right now?
Yeah.
Can I push the lane out, or do I have to be afraid because there's a potential gank set up against me? So that's something that we see from them a lot, and that's especially with a good offlaner, that's usually reflected in his death count, which should be really low.
Game sense, one of the strongest tools that you can definitely have here in Heroes of the Storm if you are a top laner. And really, if you want to look at certain top laners to watch, a Thorough Angel's great, Wubby's great, Zelly's been doing an awesome job for Team Dignitas as well. Anti-Hero, I would argue, is really good too, even though they're number 8 in the standings when it comes to the team. Him as a solo laner has been pretty impressive. He's done a lot of things on his own that he almost wins lanes in 1v2 sometime.
Yeah. In general, just watching outside of HGC, also the private streams of a lot of these pros can really help a lot. Alex the Pro G comes to mind. Even though he plays without a microphone and a webcam, Breeze is another fantastic tank to watch as well. Quacknix has been streaming a lot. We've seen Snitch streaming. Like, most of these top teams have 1 or 2 players that stream quite regularly. Lately, for example, Team Liquid has really stepped it up with the streaming hours as well. Lumbi has been streaming a lot, and he usually tries to explain as much as he can. So especially when you have questions for your specific role, find one of these top players that streams and just go straight into the chat, ask them questions. Most of them are really helpful and try to explain to you a little bit more in detail while certain choices are being made or how to behave in certain situations.
Yeah, that's a good point. The chat interaction is the most important thing there. Housewolves in particular, he's been playing without a mic and a webcam as of late, but every time he goes into a queue afterwards, you can ask him anything and he'll drop down the knowledge on you right away. The knowledge is power in Heroes of the Storm. The more you know, the more you're able to win your matchups, be able to handle the lanes, of course, watch the minimap and continue to move forward and continue to climb all the way up to your Master and Grandmaster ranks respectively within your region. Now, we're continuing to get set up here as our players are looking for the next battleground that we're going to be going to, but I'm actually kind of hoping that we see that Braxis holdout or that Dragonshire. It's been so long since we've seen Fnatic play Dragonshire.
Yeah, true. I'm also excited. Dragonshire is fantastic. I would love to see Dragonshire. And, I mean, I'm going to be blunt here. I'm just happy we don't see Sky Temple.
Yeah.
Sky Temple, the earlier, from all the maps that we have, I think at this point, the way that it's figured out, it makes the early game very scripted in the way that teams approach it. So for me, it's always fun to see Dragonshire, see maybe even Braxis, where you never really know what happens. Oftentimes you see different lanings that are happening there. So I'm pretty happy that the maps that we are probably seeing today are going to differ a little bit, so that's pretty cool.
Well, it looks like our battleground is about to get picked up here by Team Expert. It was on them to figure out what they wanted to do here with their loss. Did they want first pick, or did they want to pick up the battleground, which would give Fnatic the choice of the other two? Now, we'll see what map they were going to. It might be the BOE. We've been seeing that as of late. Let's go ahead and check out the battleground now, as it hasn't been chosen. It's going to be Battle